I get some articles last minute, so that's good. You know,
I have one thing that I saw on Instagram that I want to talk about here. But before we keep going on that, on articles, Mickey, you were talking about flash photography?
Dude, I've had the biggest challenge with photography today, I think. Just trying to get, like, good shots with my flash. Because the thing is, when there's motion involved, flash sucks because just the lighting in general is just garbage. And the thing is, they turned off the lights in the back as well. So they inhibited even more light that I thought was there.
Give us some backstory. What were you taking pictures of today?
I was shooting today for a company I work for, their award ceremony.
Gotcha.
And it wasn't really like hard work. It was just taking pictures. So the biggest challenge of that, again, is just getting good pictures, and the lighting was very difficult to do that in. So I was fucking messing with my camera a lot.
Damn.
Trying to get good shots, but I mean, we got a few good shots, so
what the hell's going on
and
here?
then I guess that kind of helps me better understand how the flashes work and where I can and can't use them.
So you were just having problems with motion? Is what it was?
Yeah, a lot of the pictures were coming out with blur.
Okay.
There were some things that I did to adjust it, so I did get solid still pictures as well.
Got you. So I saw this shit the other day. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Why is it showing our episodes backwards? That's hilarious. Is it because we're on a different page or something?
No, it's because I was looking at this.
Oh, my bad. So I keep seeing this. I've seen actually 2 or 3 clips of it where they're talking about undercover cops like trashing the subway stations and train stations and trains in Los Angeles.
Why?
I don't know, but I saw this thing. It was basically, I don't actually have a screenshot. I don't have the video saved. I screenshotted it just to talk about it on the pod. It's basically like this undercover cop. They're saying it's an undercover cop, and he's like smoking like fake crack on the train and like trashing the train and shit. This is like I've seen like 2 or 3 of these posts, so it's not just like a one-off thing. And it was different cops. And I think one of the reasons they're saying it's like fake crack or whatever is because the guy's like blowing like enormous amounts of like smoke, like hookah style from like this weird looking crack pipe or whatever. And people are just like roasting, like saying like the city's like basically trashing all this money that they spent on I guess on the police officers. I don't know. You guys haven't seen that before?
No.
Maybe see if you can look it up. Like LA cops trashing trains or undercover or whatever. Yeah, LA.
They're saying it's an LA undercover cop that's trashing.
I'll show you the screenshot.
On his time off or during this.
Undercover, I guess.
He's undercover, but he's trashing. Okay.
Look, I'll show you the screenshot of the.
Trashing car?
No.
Let's see. I'll find the thing. So look. LAPD cops working undercover to trash our metro system and rob our city of 108 million whatever a year. I guess
that just sounds like a fucking some sort of a conspiracy bullshit.
It did sound very weird to me. Like I didn't understand this. That's why I was asking you guys. Brought it up to see what you guys thought.
No, I think that's more of a conspiracy.
It's probably just a conspiracy. Like
close to being real.
I mean, unless they figured out a really good way of robbing shit. You know what I mean?
But the man of conspiracies himself, Donnie J. Trump.
Oh yeah, so you were
what's going on with him?
You were talking about that
Yeah,
before we started.
He can't be elected president because of Section 3 of the 14th Amendment.
Something about what happened in January 6th, right?
Yeah, that section specifically states that if you've committed insurrection,
Which that's what they went after.
Yeah, if you've committed insurrection well under oath to protect the Constitution of the United States, they can enforce that and not allow you to run for president.
What's insurrection exactly? Educate me as an
overthrowing of the government.
Basically, yeah.
Insurrection. Okay.
It's
violent uprising against an authority or government.
Yeah. So that's the only thing that could go after him to make him not viable. Because even if they put him in jail, he could literally go from jail.
I mean, but isn't that one of the? Yeah, that's true, right? They were talking about.
So that the only way they can.
But that is a pretty big event, right? So that's probably why that was probably one of the easier things to pick. I mean, in reality, I feel like there's a bunch of things that are just hard to get at. Right?
I think they bent the rules and they said it's an insurrection because there are two sides of the camp, right? One side says that they were like used force to get into the White House. Then the other side saying no, there are videos of these people just calmly walking and they're being escorted.
But so my question is then what exactly did he do for them to say it's insurrection? Did he praise them doing this?
They're saying that he
gaslighted
this.
Right.
You know, they're saying that he gaslighted the whole thing to get this whole thing going. But I mean, did he really gaslight? I mean, at that point, people were pissed.
Say? What did he say that they're considering gaslighting?
I think it's something like we're behind you or something like that on a Twitter. But he wasn't. He wasn't anything like, hey, go ahead and do it. But at that time, people were so uproar.
I mean, I feel like it's pretty fair.
Just a little tiny thing started.
I think it's pretty fair that when that's going down, if you say something like that, you're pretty quickly implicated.
No, see, here's the funny part to me. The funny part to me is they went the insurrection route specifically to prevent him from running as a president.
Well, clearly.
You know what I'm saying? There was no other way they could prevent him. And they literally built the case to go the insurrection route specifically for that. Now, that tells me...
That's where I kind of may disagree with you. I feel like there may be other things, but this was such a big event where it's kind of like their easy snatch and grab, where they're going to find the easiest route of proving it and all these things.
Well, that's the thing.
It's not the only one, I feel like.
They could have proved it on many other fronts.
That's what I'm saying. But this was the easiest, I think.
No, that's the whole thing. It's not. This was the long shot. And they went after this.
Well, it worked, right?
It did work. And that just tells me that there's something going on. There are two things going on. There's two things going on. Either he throws wrenches in people's wheels and people don't like that. Or he's really like a, Russian asset that they don't want. They cannot be anything in between. Either he's just done so much shit to so many people that they're pissed at him, or he's really like a Russian asset.
So this is a straight up official thing, right? He cannot run.
Well, I'm sure they're gonna fucking subpoena that. Appeal it.
Right.
And then, depends what...
I don't think that's gonna go very far.
We haven't seen the end of it.
I don't think that appeal is gonna go very far.
I don't know. We haven't seen the end of it. So...
Okay.
It depends. I think.
So as of right now, official decision is he can't run.
He can't run, no.
So who do you think is going to be their candidate for the Republican Party then?
That just lives. The only two people that are left are going to be either Vivek or DeSantis. Really? I mean, who else?
Got you. See, I'm not too into political.
And if it's Vivek or DeSantis is not very marketable. They told him you're too short. You need to wear those shoes that give you a boost.
Yeah, they've caught him wearing that shit.
Yeah,
they also apparently have remember when Alex used to come on? He talked about his PR, his team, his public team or whatever would tell him you need to be more likable because it was so awkward.
Yeah,
he
here's
he ate something with his bare fingers in front of everyone or whatever, the yogurt or pudding or some shit like that.
Well, here's the thing with the shoes. They told him you need to wear higher shoes to look taller because people elect taller people. It's not his fucking fault he's short. And he's going, literally, this is what you have to go through because people don't fucking look at what you're bringing. They look at, oh, is he tall? Is he good looking? Is he
Abraham
this
Lincoln
is how fucking people
won that
vote.
By a long shot.
Yeah. So this is how fucking people vote, right? It just tells you the current state of our politics. No one gives a fuck about anything.
Did you guys watch that Lincoln movie that came out?
The which one? There's so many of them. One of them, he was a zombie killer.
I was just about to talk about exactly
vampire
that. I was like,
killer.
what do you guys think about those movies that came out with like he killing supernatural creatures? Like, where the fuck did that idea
it's a cool
come
take
from?
on it.
I don't know, man.
Drugs.
It is an interesting take,
Drugs
but
and
like, where the
alcohol?
fuck? Yeah, right. Acid, just dropping acid. Like, what if Abe Lincoln was fucking up zombies?
You have to be on some shit to be writing all that fucking shit.
Yeah.
You know
For
that
such a long period of time.
they were Joe Rogan and they were talking about that's why they think that the decline in like how cars look after the 70s is because they banned like a bunch of psychedelics or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're saying like that's why a lot of cars in like I think it's like late 80s and 90s are like really bland. Like they're very like they're not gonna be looked at as classics. You know what I mean? A lot of
Yeah.
those cars are
They
just
don't have
very
the lines.
weird, like not really. They're not classic looking. They're almost like retro looking. They're not, exactly. They don't have the lines. They're not as beautiful as like.
They all look alike.
They all look alike. Like the 70s, like all the cars that came out in the 70s were fucking beautiful.
Yeah. I don't know, man. We'll see. Like, you know, as far as the selection goes, I think, in my opinion, this is going to be the worst set of candidates that United States has ever had. Period. So we'll see.
Isn't that funny how we keep setting that record every year? The past few elections.
Yeah. and I you know what? And I honestly think it's because of the dawn of the internet and TikTok and the prevalence of social media. That's what does it. I think this is what does, because everyone is in their bubble.
I was just about to say the echo chambers thing that has evolved over social media.
Yeah,
like
everyone
over the
is
past
in a
few
bubble.
years. Not a few years, like 5.
Yeah, it's everyone is
Good
in their
morning.
fucking bubble. Everyone is fighting their own little fucking fight online, and they're just listening to that. And they're like, you know, those conspiracy theories. Oh, he was being framed. The other ones are like, nah, he's a Russian spy. You know what I mean? Like, but I think the truth is somewhere in the fucking middle. You know, it's not neither one of those. But again, I don't know. You know, and a lot of the younger generation just fucking asleep. You know, they're just doing the whole woke agenda and.
So Mickey, did you? I saw you were watching some of the fights on the stream on.
Look at Peruano. He's commenting Trump.
On Saturday, right? Did you watch some of the fights?
Yeah, I watched some of them. I don't remember who was fighting exactly, but I did also fall asleep.
You didn't watch the last fight?
No, I didn't stay up that late, man. I feel like I'm an old man. I feel like I'm.
So I saw this tweet. Someone said Colby Covington looked like he belonged on the prelims, which I agree. Did not do well. I mean, you watched a little bit of the end of the fight, right?
No, I came in with a belt.
Right. So
I remember Patty the Baddie. I remember seeing
yeah.
this fight.
Patty.
I heard that Patty he's got his leg pretty much destroyed after the fight. He barely could walk or something.
That was,
like
I think, Kobe. Kobe was walking out where he had ice packs on his knees. He like was walking around with literally bags of ice taped to his knees.
And Kobe is 170.
Yeah. It was funny, man. He lost 4 rounds to 1, and shit. Even the last round was kind of like on edge a little bit. And
Who was it that Patty fought?
Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, so that guy, I cannot remember his name, but that guy was so mad that he lost that fight.
Well, Ferguson needs to retire.
Yeah.
It's hands down. Ferguson needs to go towards the sunset.
He looks like the
retire and
definition
train.
of a beat UFC or MMA fighter.
So
yeah, he's
what
just
I
that
saw,
fucking dog that has like fucking one eye, like with a scar over it. You know what I mean?
I saw just Tony looked like he was chinny. Every time Patty, like when he would touch Patty, it was nowhere near the effect that when Patty would touch him, man. Like he just looked chinny. Cardio was really good, especially after that training with Goggins. It was cool to see Goggins in the arena. I was hyped. That's Emily. I was out there screaming, "Who's gonna carry the boats?" That shit was funny.
When Patty said, "All right, who's gonna carry the boats?" Because he's not gonna do it.
Yeah.
I cracked up.
That shit was funny. But yeah, that fight was a little sad to watch because you know the legend that Tony Ferguson is getting beat up by one of the up and comers. But it is what it is. That's how it usually works.
I mean, Tony Ferguson is damn near pushing 40, man.
I think he's already is 40 or more.
Well, I don't know exact age, but I know he's right up there. How old is he?
39. There you go.
Yeah,
You're right.
he's near pushing 40. I mean, it's time for him to retire. It's time for him to go to the gym. See, the thing with him is he's just one of those guys that fighting keeps him fucking focused. I think he's just fucking crazy. I think he's just literally
he's definitely
like
crazy.
He's
Think he
crazy.
needs to have violence in his life.
Yeah, he's just crazy, and I think him focusing on training, that's what keeps him fucking sane.
Yeah.
So he needs to find another
Half
avenue
sane,
how to
'cause
channel.
He's still crazy when
Yeah.
he's fighting.
He just needs to channel, otherwise he's gonna start beating his wife.
Yeah.
Just because she put the fucking peanut butter to
I
the
noticed,
right side
like,
of the fridge, not left.
During the fight, I don't know if you saw this, Miggy. They were talking about how he seemed kind of contempt. So Patty would like take him down, and
He would just take it?
he would kind of be contempt of like playing guard, right? So like back then, like he would have a crazy guard game, submitting guys all the time, those elbows off the back. But he just wasn't the same Tony Ferguson. He seemed very content and like sitting in guard and trying to work from there. It didn't seem like he wanted to get up too much. I don't know.
Can
That's
we talk
something
about
that
the
the
best fight
commentators.
of the night?
What do you think was the best fight of the night?
Duplessis versus Sean Strickland.
So that was pretty funny. I thought it was crazy. Like, it's hilarious because we're watching
Did you see
the
what
fight.
Burns' wife tweeted?
Yeah. I saw. We'll talk about that, but listen to this. So I'm watching the fight, right, live.
I'm interested in what you're about to say because I haven't seen that.
So it's pretty cool. She like gave respect to Sean in a sense.
Okay.
So she said that they were sitting there. They did the whole promotion thing, and then Duplessis kind of like called him to fight.
She's
That's what
like,
she
I
said.
don't like Sean Strickland.
I don't
But
like
then
what he says, right?
Yeah, but Duplessis was talking shit and literally inviting him to fight right then and there.
Exactly. And so she says that Sean politely asked us to move before smashing him.
Damn.
But
And he
it's
landed a solid like 7-8 hits on him.
so I was watching the fight, right, live, and I see the promotion they did where like you see in the promotion like they pan to them in the camera. Sean does the whole little like bang thing. Duplessis dodges it, and then Sean's like, yeah, and they pan off to like a different promo, right? They do that promo, and right when they're finished with that, DC and Joe Rogan just say, oh, and we just had a brawl on the stage with Duplessis and Sean Strickland. We'll try and show you guys footage of this later. Da, 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 da. I'm sure we got footage of it. And I was like, wait, but we just saw them. Like, they were just there. And I said it, too. I said it to Emily or Arthur. I was like, bro, them sitting next to each other, what the fuck are they doing? They're literally about to fight next month. And so it was hilarious because we're literally like, I just saw them, and the whole fight broke
But
out.
isn't that funny? Like, Sean Strickland is very crude the way he says things, but I don't think he's wrong. I think he's right, but he's just very, very fucking crude the way he presents everything.
I don't think he cares. Like, for example,
He doesn't care about people's feelings.
Right.
He just stays straight up. This is the truth. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck how you feel about it, but this is the truth.
and he just has a very extreme opinion, and at the same time kind of puts it out there very bluntly with no care.
With no care, exactly. But
And that's what people like about him. It's
here's the
what
thing.
people
Here's the
like
thing.
about Trump.
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean he's wrong. And a lot of people like Burns' wife is like, I don't like what he says. Now, do you like you don't like what he says, or do you don't like the way he delivers it? There's like a big difference between whether what he says and how he delivers it, right?
I mean, there's definitely things that he has said that people are going to conceive whether how he said it or not as red pill shit, right? So
Yeah.
that's the whole thing, right?
I mean, when Sean Strickland is talking about this,
His
I don't
attitude
think
definitely doesn't help.
I don't think he's just taking up the red pill side and saying, I'm going red pill. I think he truly believes in it. I don't think it's a stunt for him to get more
I think you're
fans,
right, yeah.
you know
I think
what
you're
I mean?
right. He truly believes in it, and that's his like genuine opinion.
Yeah.
He just puts it out there with no care on
You
just
like it,
straight
you
up
don't
his
like
personality.
it. Like when he's talking to Nina. Hey, Nina, like, what was the whole thing with Nina?
Her boobs.
Her boobs or something like that? Yeah, like...
yeah, she had her tits, like her cleavage out or whatever, and he was roasting her or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
But, I don't know. But that's Sean Strickland. I don't know, love him or hate him. He
He's a motherfucking champ, is what he is. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
can't take that away from him.
That's and the way he got it against one of the people we put as the goat, one of the goats right now, Israel, and so
Isn't Israel out? He's not, like, fighting
So-
or something?
he said that he wasn't gonna fight till 2027. That he was gonna
God
take a break
damn.
off till 2027, and that's why Pereira called him out. Pereira, in the translation, I saw someone do like a better, not necessarily a better translation, but more an official translation of what he actually said in the cage, because he had one of the people on his team do the translation, and he gave the gist of it. It was like not an incorrect translation, but it wasn't like to the T what he said word by word kind of thing. Anyways, he basically said, I'm not someone to call out people, but I want to call out the guy that brought me back because I was when he was here winning fights, he talked about how I was gonna be in some bar one day talking shit, and that motivated me to come back. I think that he's like this fighter said he's not fighting until 2027. I think that's a real waste of talent. I want to be the one to motivate him now. And he said, Adesanya, come to daddy. He actually said that in English or whatever. It was pretty cool.
We'll see how that's gonna work. But
that's actually one of my next questions. You brought it out before me. Do you think that if he comes back, he'll fight in 205 against Pereira, or he'll go right back to his division at 185?
I mean, we've seen him try to go up the weight class, right? And
he lost against Jan in a very technical fight. Like they both left the fight pretty unscathed, but Jan just kind of technically.
And he was eating pizza on a scale because you knew he can't make
So,
weight. He was eating fucking pizza on a scale.
He weighed into that fight at 195. He didn't even hit the 205 limit. He fights
Yeah.
at 185, I think it was. He weighed around 195, something like that.
And you know he was trying to put a weight on. I think, see, what makes Adesanya so good is I think he fights at the weight that he carries. Like he barely ever loses anything.
Yeah, he doesn't have
he's
to cut
never,
too much, right?
He's never tired. He's always at that weight, right? Like that's his normal training weight.
Right.
Where most people need to cut, and at 205, what was it, Jan? Was it Jan? Yeah, he was probably weighing 230 to 40 by that time. You know what I mean?
Jan's
Or
a
even
big
220.
motherfucker.
So that's a 225, 30-pound difference, and that fight didn't go anywhere. So him going in against Pereira he had to be pretty dry to hit 185. So he's going to be at 215,
What's
220.
crazy is he's had 2 fights now at 205, right? He doesn't look bigger than he looked at 185. The motherfucker still looks the same.
Same.
Right? But that's just because he was going in at 185 and he'd go to fights weighing 220.
Yeah.
Right? This
And I don't think
was
he's
just
losing weight
pulling
at
out
all.
so
He's
much
just at
weight.
220 as he is. Like, I'm at my weight. Like, this is how I train on
And
daily.
they're predicting that him going to 205 is going to keep his chin better. So, like, things like when Adesanya knocked him out, things like that will be less likely because his chin's going to be a lot better. He won't be cutting as much weight. They say that there's something to link that they think that there may they think there may be something linked between the weight cut and guys' ability to handle shots. So, which I could understand. I mean, you're draining yourself. You're like they talk about how literally you're putting your body on the brink of death.
I think we'll see better fights now. I think we'll see better fights with, because look, Adesanya has been reigning champ for fucking years, and there's a reason why.
Right.
Not because there are no other champs that came through that are more technical that can fight. No, there are other ones that can do it, but I think he's just cutting weight takes a lot. Like Adesanya has a fucking advantage.
Isn't it crazy how there's not a lot of champions who reign for a long time or like are amazing champions that come through and do like great work? Besides Khabib is one of them actually, but most of them, isn't it weird? Like they could be wrestlers in their start of their career, but most of them as champions, they all fight on their feet. Mm-hmm. Usman was wrestling, and he came in. Most of his fights at the end were fought on his feet. Mm-hmm. John Jones, a wrestler, fights on his feet most of the time. I mean, last fight was submission. He has submission wins, but these guys fight on their feet a lot. Khabib is one of those where he was like, I'm going to take you to the ground and smash you. Yeah. Even at the championship level, he was doing that.
But he's good at... So all the other ones are trying to appease the crowd because the crowd doesn't understand the fucking ground game.
I don't know if it's necessarily the crowd. I think that once you get to such a high level, like for example, one of the things they talk about Adesanya was his takedown defense so good, right? He's not necessarily the best person on the ground. He's just got the craziest kickback. He's really good at taking down. And so I think that once you get to such a high level as a champion, when you're fighting guys who are championship contenders, their takedown defense and ability to get up, even if you take them down, is so high that it's more like that's just such a waste of energy because wrestling fucking takes so much energy out of those guys. So I think that's one of the reasons maybe they stopped wrestling at the higher levels, unless you're Khabib, which your wrestling just beats everyone's. Or Islam will do the same thing, but Islam is kind of like what they call about the Khabib 2.0 because he's got that striking.
I find that weird that you say that because I see that a lot of the time wrestlers.
Let me see your vibes.
Yeah. Not wrestlers, but UFC fighters or MMA fighters will try and grapple and take down somebody in order to rest when they're getting their ass beat and destroyed and they're just not landing any punches.
So that will happen, yes, Miguel. You're absolutely right in the sense where like if they're absolutely getting schooled on the feet, yes, they'll shoot for a takedown, and if they're a wrestler base, yeah, that is a way for them. If they're getting beat on the feet, they do think of that as a way to rest. You're absolutely right. But you have to realize that they also are playing a two-edged sword on that one, because if they go for a takedown, expend all that energy, and then don't get it,
They're
you're
fucked.
extra
Easily
fucked.
be submitted as well.
Now,
You're
see,
extra fucked on the feet.
talking about MMA, I want to see that shit talker Dylan Dennis and shit talker Paul brother get in that cage, because you saw that press conference where he's like, "Hey, you get in a boxing ring with me, I'll sign a contract to go in the cage with you." Now they're good wrestlers, no doubt about it.
Right. Apparently they wrestled
But
like in
Dylan
college
Dennis
or
was an
or
ADCC champ, right?
high school.
Apparently, bro, this is crazy. There's more shit coming up about Dylan Dennis. He talks mad shit, right? The newest one that came out is apparently he dated Steve Will Do It's girlfriend.
Really?
Yeah. This motherfucker done dated every single one of those girls, right? And just shows
It's
you.
probably because he was going to all those damn Bilzerian parties.
Could be, could be. And I don't want to take the conversation that route, but it shows you, like, when the girls say I want a nice guy, they're fucking lying. You know what I mean?
So it's funny that you mentioned Dylan, because I actually saw that when Dana White was on Nelk's pod the other day, right? And they asked him, "Hey, will you like bring Dylan Dennis? You've seen all his tweets and this and that, talking about bring me to the UFC, this and that." Then Dana White asked them the simple question, "And who would you want to see him fight in the UFC?"
No one.
They had no answer, right? Because a lot of people have seen his performances. I think it was Bellator or one, right?
No. I think if anything, Dana will capitalize on it. He'll say, "I'll set it up, but I'm not bringing him to UFC. I'll set up this match, kind of like they do in the boxing matches. They'll let them fight there, but."
See, I don't know. I think that if they don't bring him directly to the UFC, according to Dylan, he's like, "I'm good. I don't want it." Right? So, like, even if Dana was like, "Hey, come on the Contender Series," he probably wouldn't do it.
No, he wouldn't do it. So it would be like more of a like set up that fight. Dylan is trying to cash in, bro. He's just trying to cash in, and he's smart about it. And if they were smart about it, they would have worked the shit out with the Paul brothers. Paul brothers are gonna fucking trend. Dylan Dennis just talk shit. I mean, he's gonna just fade away like the troll he is. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I feel like
he's gonna continue talking shit. That's part of it. Right?
I'm thinking about the whole. You asked about them getting into a cage, right? Are they really gonna set that up, man? Because you're running a high risk of Logan Paul getting put to sleep or rocking out on crutches.
Yeah, you are.
High risk.
Yes, and Dylan Dennis is not gonna back down. It has to be a fucking agreement between Dylan Dennis and Logan Paul. Hey, we're gonna show him a fight. You're gonna win at the end by a decision or something like that. But we're both gonna cash in. That's the only outcome of this game, because then they both stand to win money. Because Logan Paul cannot lose to Dylan Dennis, because they know Dylan Dennis is not very marketable. Logan Paul is. Who are you gonna make? Who's your cash cow?
I don't see.
Who's the cow that gives you the milk? It's definitely not Dylan Dennis.
Personally, I'm not watching another fucking celebrity fight. I'm not watching another one.
It's dumb.
I'm
man.
not watching another one. I'm not wasting my fucking time.
Yeah, it's dumb. Like I don't know, man.
I'm 100% done watching them shits. Unless I see like the Anderson Silva one that happened, like if some shit like that again, I'll watch like one of the MMA goats fucking go fight one of these guys, even if they're gonna lose. I'll watch something like that. But straight up like Dylan Dennis, Logan Paul, or the KSI Tommy Fury thing, I'm not watching that
I
shit
think
again.
Sean Strickland has a fucking future. Like after all this is said and done, after he had another 5 to 6 years into this, he can go in there and he boxes like a motherfucker.
Apparently he's got a nasty ground game too. Like his wrestling is really, really good.
Yeah, Strickland can.
He's a well-rounded fighter, and not only well-rounded fighter, like you said, his boxing is on another level.
Yeah, I think Sean Strickland would be one of those guys that would be very marketable. But again, all goes down to like who's gonna make the money, right? Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, I don't know, man.
There was a great fight though on that night too. It was Carol Rosa, which is a Brazilian chick, against Irene Aldana. She fought Amanda, that last fight Amanda had before she retired. That fight was a fucking brawl.
That guy from is he from Kazakhstan or Kyrgyzstan? I don't know.
Kazakhstan. Shavkat Rakhmonov. That's a fucking killer, bro.
Yeah, bro. I think
he submitted Wonderboy. Wonderboy never's been submitted.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Yeah, and I think that this is what happened. People have been sleeping on that part of the world, and then they brought in these Russian fighters, and then like, wait a minute, you telling me there's a country named Kazakhstan and they have fighters and they're just as fucking good? You know what I mean?
He was made in a vial, if you ask me. That motherfucker was made in a vial.
He does not look like Kazakhstan people do not look like him. They don't look like
He
him. They're
literally-
shorter usually.
Yeah,
They're
he's tall,
stocky.
lanky.
Like he's tall, lanky. He's different.
And bro, his game is nasty. He literally is like he's 18-0 now. He's in the top 5 of the welterweight division in the UFC, which to be undefeated and as a top 5 contender, unheard of really.
Yeah.
Then you also have the fact where 100% finish rate. Motherfuckers never needed a single judge on any of his fights. Every single one he finishes.
Well, there was a Dana. There was what's his name? Not Dana, but
Might be a goat and then not even talk English.
a fucking commentator.
DC
DC is talking about how he coaches kids, right?
Right.
And he's like, I send all my kids for a month to Khabib, to train. Khabib paid for the hotels, paid for the food, and when the kids came back, they said,
here's practice, over there is training.
yeah, he goes, we're training there, coach. He goes, we're practicing. Over there, we're fucking training.
Yeah, he said like because it's over here, like they're probably going to school and then they're hanging out, go to class, and then
it's like every
over
class starts
there-
with gymnastics, which is true. That's what we did, bro. We would do like when I used to do sambo, the part of the warm up, it wasn't just fucking little tiny rolls like front roll, back roll. No, none of this shit. Front roll, back roll didn't exist. We would do like little flips, like you would put your head on the ground and you would flip up, flip up, flip up. Like you would train your neck like crazy. Like you see those kids just running around and training their neck. Like that existed. That gymnastics training existed.
It's funny you talk about kids and training. Me and Rodolfo actually had the conversation. I asked him like, "Oh, what sport would you want your kid to play, and like at what age and all this stuff?" And instantly he said basketball, right? Because he grew up playing basketball. But I was telling him like, I would just have my kid like I would tell them, look, whenever you want to play sports, you're gonna play whatever you want, but then you're also gonna do some kind of grappling martial art. So whether you want to do fucking judo, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, one of those grappling martial arts.
Yeah, as a father, what I would do is I would take my kid in the beginning because don't want to retard their growth, right? In the beginning, because I don't want those. That's literally what happened with me because I was going to wrestling, right, since young age, and what happened? My bones, instead of growing that way, they started growing this way. And a lot of people will go out there and say, "Well, I'm big boned." Like I'm actually big bone. Like there's all the bones in your body are proportional to each other, and there's ways to tell. I'm not gonna get into it, but I'm actually big bone. The reason being because your bones start calcifying and growing the other way because it's giving you what you need at that point in time, right? So I would take my kid to about 15. I would give him to striking type of sport or something like that, and then after 15, I would transition him slowly to grappling. And then bring back the striking and mix it all together for them to give them the best chance of.
I feel a little bit of the opposite in the sense where I don't want to get my kid into striking at a younger age because I want them to realize that that's just not very good for you. Say they want to start competing and stuff. The last thing I want them to compete.
Oh no! I would not have the fucking delusions that they're gonna be like a.
No, not even a
It's
pro
just
fighter.
for them to set them up for life.
I get it, but I'm saying like they're gonna want to compete. They're going to want to go to meets and whatever it may be or tournaments. And so to put them into striking at such a small age, no, fuck that. It's too high risk of brain damage and other shit.
It is, but then they wear the headgear and all
You know that shit don't make much of a difference.
Yeah.
One of the things I regretted as a kid.
What's up,
Blanca?
Blanca? What's up, Bailey? Sorry.
What's up, Bailey?
You're good. One of the things I regretted as a kid was not doing a lot of sports as a kid. Like my parents never really signed me up for like basketball, baseball, or whatever. So I think that's why I turned out to be such a good gamer with my reflexes,
Yeah.
Because that's all I fucking did. I just stayed at home. But I really enjoyed sports, and I don't know. I just never...
Yeah.
I concur. Miggy is a fucking nasty gamer.
I think any kid needs to have, like, especially boys, you need to get into scraps. You need to get that flight and fight, like... You need to get that out of you. You need to get punched in the face once in a while. You need to get kneed in the fucking head, which I have done, chipped teeth and all that stuff, cuts all over my face. I've done that. And now I'm not afraid to get hit. You know what I mean? Like, I understand what's going to happen. Yeah, I'm going to get hit. But then there's, so what?
Right.
You know what I mean? So what, right? So I think every boy needs to have that, especially if they're going to protect their family down the road. And then I'm going to teach them how to go pew-pew. You know what I mean?
Having that early idea of what it's like to either be hit or be in some type of confrontation definitely helps you moving forward because you learn that either one, you can avoid the confrontation, or two, suffer the consequences, which could be getting your ass beat.
I'll look at it this way. I hope they never have to use it, but when time comes, they'll know what to do.
See, this is the thing, man. Like, first time you get hit square in your nose, it doesn't even, like, it maybe not even hurt that much.
A little touch.
But instantly your eyes just
Water down.
Yeah.
Little
And
touch.
you gotta know how. Well, you gotta like know how to get past that in a sense. What you're saying, and be able to like fight past that and know that that's coming, kind of thing. Cause that shit is a different kind of feeling. Yeah. Or like when you get rocked, you get stumbled or whatever. That's a different kind of feeling.
You know what I don't like? Because I used to do a little bit of kickboxing before, right? I'm trying to get back into it. I just need to start going more into the kickboxing classes. One time
I was waiting for Ozzy in the gym.
No, I was sparring with a kid, and kid just went what? Smacked me right over my head with a leg.
Mm-hmm.
Just went like this. What? And oh my God, are you okay? It's like, bro, just continue going. Let's go, right? You know. And he didn't expect that. You know, it was just a loose leg that he went, bump, connected, and he was like,
you just want to check on your partner.
Exactly.
Right?
He wants to check on the partner, but like he didn't expect my reaction. I was like, no, bro, keep going. And that made him like, oh shit, like he's cool. Like let's just. And that became more of I was like, okay, he can left his leg, so I can kind of see where he's at right now. So let's just go now. Let's just move, you know? Because a lot of times, even in jiu-jitsu, that's what I'll do. I don't care what belt they have. Like first half of the round, I'll test them out to see where they at.
Right.
You know, if they're pushing it, I'll push back. If they're not pushing it, I'll step back.
That reminds me of this time I sparred with this kid. So when I was doing boxing, he came into the gym. It was like his first, second, maybe third class, right? And we started doing some sparring, and my coach was his name was Ray Sapita. He actually had a couple pro fights. Really cool guy. He was kind of hesitant. He's like, no sparring for you, not yet, right? Not yet, at least. Like, and he's like, no, it's okay. I was like, okay, are you sure? And he's like, okay, yeah. And he told him like, all right, I'm gonna put you with Eddie. Eddie will like go chill with you. And I told him like, I'm not gonna hit you in the head. Like, just I'm gonna match what you start giving me.
Yeah.
Man, he started rushing me, like bull rushing me, across the ring, and then I'm like still being kind of nice, just moving around, trying to practice my movement and stuff, and the coach keeps telling him like, bring your hands up, and it got to the point where it's like, okay, I'm gonna start I'm gonna start letting him know in my way, pop, and I just like kind of like gave him a slight little hook. Oh man, he was fucking got so pissed. And started like actually like rushing me hard now, but he kept putting his hands down too, thinking like I'm just gonna try and hit him in the body. I felt a little bad, but it pissed me off too because it's like, bro, calm down. And so I gave him this nasty check hook, and I hear one of the older dudes on the outside, more of experienced dude, goes, "Careful, you don't got mouthpieces in." It's like, bro, like this kid's rushing me. You gotta tell him to calm the fuck down.
Yeah. It's kind of like when Nala and Zeus are fighting, and Nala goes,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like. I'm not trying to hurt you, but
chill out.
That. Calm the fuck down. Like we're trying to. Let's have
it's
this
funny,
dance.
Actually,
you know what I mean?
If I look in my like Dropbox from a few 5-6 years back, probably more actually. I should be able to find because I got that on video. Lynette was there taking a video of this sparring round, so I have this whole kind of interaction on video.
We could put that on a.
I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find it. What's up, Justin? Yeah, I'll see if I can find it, and it was actually a pretty funny interaction, because you can hear it in the video too. Whap! Just across his head.
Wait, you heard that whack fuck? Oh shit!
Coach kept telling him, "Put your hands up, put your hands up." I had to let him know in my way too. But
you want to go into this article I found? It's pretty interesting. Hey, Miggy, pull up this article, and it's got like this kid's eye. Like go down a little bit more. Right there. Boom. No, sorry, not that one. That one right there. Pull that one up. So apparently, AI screened eye pigs diagnose childhood autism with 100% accuracy. Which to me, that's crazy, bro. Like, keep going down.
Yeah, I want to see how many cases they went through.
Read a little bit more about this.
So researchers have taken photographs of children's retinas and screened them using a deep learning AI algorithm to diagnose autism with 100% accuracy. The findings support using AI as an objective screening tool for early diagnosis, especially when access to a specialist child psychiatrist is limited. At the back of the eye, the retina and the optic nerve connected the optic disc, an extension of the central nervous system. The structure is a window into the brain, and researchers have started capitalizing on their ability to easily and non-invasively access this body part to obtain important brain-related information.
So what I'm wondering now, if they figure this out, they'll probably be able to figure out, because there's a lot of people that I know, and they'll be like, well, I'm a little bit autistic, I'm a little bit on the spectrum. And a lot of times it's just, nah, bro, you're just a little bit awkward. You know what I mean? You're not really autistic. You're very introverted. It doesn't mean you're autistic, right? And I think it's going to get to that point where they'll be able to like scan your retina and say, yeah, like you have a little bit of this and this is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But you were
Right,
very,
because
very
it's
high
a spectrum.
functioning.
It's not like a definitive thing. Like you're autistic and you're not. No,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
There's a spectrum of it.
Yeah.
When you fall on that spectrum.
Yeah. And I think that's going to start like not only putting a label, but it's going to start explaining the labels much better. You know what I mean? Where they'll be like, all right, well, you can't really use this as a crutch, to continue in your life, versus, okay, yeah, like you might have a problem. This is what we need to do to get you going. And I do have friends who have, kids that are autistic, but, they unfortunately they can't diagnose it early on, right? So, but they're putting them through like, classes and things like that. And the kids are starting to come around, where they're starting becoming very highly functional autistic children.
Me and Emily are actually watching a show right now called The Good Doctor, which is about a surgeon who is autistic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really good, actually. It's funny, the last episode we watched last night actually is about where he comes across another doctor that's sick, right? This doctor comes in, apparently he's got like really renowned and known, like he's got a bunch of papers and stuff come up, like he invented techniques or whatever, right? Comes in, this doctor's a fucking dick, right? Just like downplaying everyone, and one of the guys told him like, why are you being so disrespectful? Like respect has to be earned and all this shit, right? And Sean, which is the autistic doctor, the main guy of the show, goes to him like, that's why you, because like even the lights, like, oh, why are the lights so bright in here? Which is a big thing with a lot of people, apparently with people with autism. And at one point, Sean makes a comment where he's like, yeah, like, oh, that's like, yeah, it coincides with your ASD. Doctor's like, I don't have ASD. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, no, like you're being disrespectful, all this shit, right? By the end of the episode, the doctor is so fed up with Sean, right, telling him he has ASD. Doctor's like, go get the rain some test starts with the R, right, that they use. And Sean's like, that's not a definitive thing. He's like, go get it, because I'm not talking to a psychiatrist or whatever. And he goes, Sean's like, all right. I goes and gets the test, and he's like, yeah, your answers coincide with someone on the spectrum. And he's like, still like, no, that can't be true. This and that, right? Like just in straight denial. So I think it's weird because you say like that this AI screen people with 100% accuracy. I wonder how good it would do screening people with such a
so functioning,
so functioning and minor on the spectrum. Like this guy was clearly an introvert, right? Like he was very shy and this and that. He's talked about how he didn't have any friends and this and that, but he was still very functioning and didn't seem as extreme as Sean, right? Sean's like with his hands always twiddling and straight face 100% of the time and stuff.
Go back up. I think this will lead us to another. Go up. A little bit more. A little bit more. Right there. No. Yep. That's it. Click on that. So this is actually leading directly into the conversation of being autistic and whatnot, and apparently this guy, one man gained a new lease on his career as an adult with autism. So go ahead and read a little bit more about this.
That's funny. That old dude looks just like the guy in the show.
Bill Mancini dreaded work anniversaries. On the rare occasion Bill held onto a job for a year, he wanted to feel more confident. He could feel himself starting to daydream about a raise, maybe even a promotion. But those thoughts were always shrouded by another. At every work anniversary, Bill found himself asking the same question. How much time do I have left? The answer was inevitably disappointing, but not exactly surprising. There always seemed to be an expiration date on every job Bill held. At one point, he had it down to a science. I knew how so many other jobs had begun and ended that I could almost predict when they would end. Said Bill held 14 jobs over the course of 23 years. In that time, only 3 employers retained him past 1 year. It was the same sequence of events, I'd say, something that was misinterpreted, or I'd misinterpreted what someone said, and my boss would call me in and say I was having trouble fitting in. The second time that would happen was always the last, Bill said. Bill was in his early 40s when he learned he has autism. His diagnosis and the lack of support he received all his life were the answers to the questions he had been asking himself for years. They explained why he struggled to hold a job, why making friends was so hard, and why so many of his relationships failed. Most of all, it explained why no one ever seemed to understand him. Finding the answer wasn't exactly a relief, Bill said, because he didn't know what he could do to change the results. Doing more for neurodivergent candidates. After the diagnosis, change would only come.
Read this second one. Since 2016,
This is
go
actually a
over.
pretty long fucking article. Bill has a fucking story, you know.
So basically, Bill, there's something about TD Bank. So he works for TD Bank, right? Like, so since 2016, there's go back up.
I see.
Since
Scroll
2000,
down,
go
scroll
down,
down,
go
scroll
down.
down.
Right there.
Since 2016, TD Bank Group has worked with specialist to hire 85 neurodivergent colleagues in the United States and Canada for full-time and contract positions. Their roles range from software engineers to risk analysts. Most of the neurodivergent colleagues hired through whatever that word is are working in technology roles. Thank you, Mickey, for the bank platforms and technology team, which welcomed 8 new colleagues.
Specialist turn, which is like intern, but it's a specialist turn, right? That's what they're saying.
Okay. So basically, TD did this program to hire people.
Bill was hired as a business analyst with TD Wealth in 2021 and is responsible for extracting and packaging stocks and stock options data for clients. So there you go. So he's good at something, and they're like, okay, well, let's channel your what you're good at into that. So I think this is pretty cool. You know, once that's the whole thing of me saying like, okay, well, once they figure out you're autistic, then they can start seeing where you can channel this. And once they figure out where you can channel this, now you can become probably an expert in that field,
right,
very easily because of your capabilities, right? Because when the brain, the way I understand the brain works this way. So you either master of none, but like you understand everything but master of none, or then you get very specialized and you're really, really good at something, right? And usually at that time people have some sort of a spectrum, right? So anyway, so I thought that was kind of cool. But
are you trying to say that people who specialize in one thing are more likely to be on the spectrum?
And if they're really, really good at it, yeah, because it's very, very hard for our brain to concentrate on something so unique and just fucking become an expert in that, because at times it gets boring. Like you want to skip and go to something else, right? Like it and a lot of times what will happen, especially with people on the spectrum.
Do you think autism kind of creates obsessions? Yeah, so that's the obsession part where they become so good at it, because a normal person will start reading something, start understanding that topic somewhat and get a good understanding of it. Like, all right, well, let's move on next to it. But autistic people usually, not always.
How would you feel if you figured out when you go to the doctor, let's say you had to get a heart surgery or something like that major, and your surgeon was autistic? Would you feel any kind of way?
No.
Yeah, me either.
No, I wouldn't feel. I would probably be like, all right, this motherfucker knows what he's doing.
I would kind of be relieved in the
As a
sense
matter
where
of fact, I want an autistic doctor.
Yeah, because I would know this motherfucker spend his entire life on this surgery.
I feel like I will say one of the reasons I think it would be a benefit, and at the same time a little bit of a not a benefit as well, is they're going to be extremely blunt,
which is fine. Because I like to be blunt with people, and a lot of times my tongue gets me in fucking trouble because I'm being blunt. Like, I have to learn how to fucking be a little more diplomatic, but I can't. Sometimes I'll just say things.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they come out as rude. So I'd rather have somebody just as blunt with me. Give me that fucking shock. I'm not going to feel good about it, but at least I know what's going on.
Right. That's why I said not necessarily the best thing, but it's not.
Yeah, like,
it's a two-edged thing.
Yeah, the truth always hurts. Like I'd rather have the truth that hurts than a fucking beautiful lie, right? But then there's another article which I thought was pretty freaking interesting, and it's talking about. Okay, so I'm gonna give you an option. What do you want to know?
Mike Tyson said a really cool quote. He didn't say it, but he quoted it on the PBD podcast that he did, and it was, "The truth will set you free, but it will hurt you first."
Yeah, that's 100%. So, okay, I'm going to give you an option, guys. What do you want to read next? You want to do 10 safest countries to retire in 2023?
I like this one right
100 years ago. Okay, yeah, we'll read that.
The powerful psychological trick to make someone think about you nonstop.
Sheesh, manipulation.
I love that shit.
Here we go, Biggie. Bringing out the juicy articles.
One of the most powerful ways to make someone fall in love with you is to program their mind to think of you all the time. When you do this, it's like planting a seed in the person's mind, which grows and grows as each day passes, until eventually the person begins to fall in love with you. One of the easiest and most powerful ways to get someone to think about you is to share personal information with them. Even when you're alone, share personal information with someone, even if they don't initially share it back with you. It can have a powerful effect on how their subconscious views you, and how the person's subconscious views you is critical to making them fall in love with you. When someone shares personal information with you, your subconscious mind becomes programmed into thinking that this person must be close to you.
Mm-hmm.
This is because only people who are close to each other share vulnerable thoughts and feelings. And if you can program a person's subconscious mind into thinking that the two of you are already close, it can make the person begin to accept this as an already existing fact. The person's subconscious is taking you out of the category of being just another ordinary person in their life and into the category of being one of their close companions.
So let's stop right there, Miggy. I want to ask you guys, how would you go about this? I'm gonna give you guys a quick little scenario. Let's say you've been dating a girl 2 months, right? You guys have gone. Damn,
my
Jay.
My bad.
Fucking.
It's that jujitsu arm, you know.
Otani out here. So let's say you've been dating a girl a couple months. You guys have been on a handful of dates, right? And talking, whatever. What would be one of the things you guys would say about yourself? Make this hypothetical. It doesn't actually have to be something deep, right? About not. It's gonna be something deep, but it doesn't have to be about you. Like we don't have to go into actually you guys' personal things. But what would be like a hypothetical thing you would bring up to share something deep about you?
I'll probably talk about how I grew up in fucking Armenia.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we had no electricity, no water. That seems to captivate things.
You little gremlin.
Yeah, that seems to captivate things. When you got the food rations and there's not enough food, even though you have the rations. Like going.
You
through
think that's personal enough to work in this? Okay,
bro.
Okay.
And nobody has.
Hats
like
off to
majority
you.
of people don't go through it. But then
Right.
when you talk like somebody like Cuban person, if
As
I
an
talk to them,
immigrant-
somebody Cuban, nah,
as an
bro.
immigrant, I can attest to what he just
Yeah,
said.
yeah, bro. But if I talk to a Cuban person that might have gone through something like that, that's not gonna be a big deal for them, right?
Yeah,
Like,
'cause
it's
you
gonna
guys
be
both
like,
come from
motherfucker, I
common
went through the same
countries.
shit.
Yeah.
I went through the same shit. With them, I would talk more about like, what unites us. You know what I mean?
You guys watch the same fucking cartoons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, that I would talk about that. How we watch the same cartoons, or what unites us. How like Russians always oppress us and things like
what
that.
would you talk about?
Depends.
My mom literally quotes, "What's your favorite Russian cartoon?"
Yeah.
Really?
When she talks to people around her age, she's like, "Yeah, what's your favorite Russian cartoon?"
So what would you talk about, Miggy?
What would I talk about?
What would you share? What would you hypothetically share? It's not to be actually be.
Like I
See,
said-
like he said something about himself, legit, but you don't have to say something about yourself.
Bruh, it.
Like
truthful
I
sexual
said,
fit.
I mean, I kind of just talk about myself and my past.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, but you guys
it
talking about your past is going to be something I would not say
I
necessarily
don't want
generic, but like let's go deeper than that. Be like hypothetically, like
I wouldn't offer that up. I would just kind of like as conversation leads.
But that's the whole point of this manipulation, Jay.
No, I wouldn't offer that up. You kind of have to gauge the situation. Like you can't just like start fucking throwing up shit from your past trauma. That's red
I
flags,
get that.
right?
I get that. But
Yeah,
like, you getting
I feel like trauma dumping somebody is a terrible.
no, not necessarily trauma dumping, but it could be like
Like a
Because
good
I can definitely trauma dump people.
a good segue to that.
let's say like for example, recently like something that could be that you're not gonna want to spread a lot. Recently, damn, I just lost like a bunch of money on this stock that I invested recently. Like little things like that could, because you want it to be something that is like a current issue that she thinks is on your mind as well. That's why it's gonna connect with her.
So
you
this
know what
is,
I mean?
This is how I would say. I would be like, I love living in the United States. I'm so happy I'm in this country. And they're like, wait, you weren't born? I'm like, no, this is how it all happened. I was born there. Like, and then the reason I love United States, and then you kind of lead that conversation towards it. Like you kind of open it up
So
and
you
see how
want,
susceptible people are to that.
So you want something that's relatable, but that kind of is like sad at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you one.
And current. Let's
So-
see if you can be current.
I'll give you
It
one.
doesn't have to be current, though.
Oh shit! I didn't work 40 hours this week and I can't pay my bike.
See, that's something that, like, for example, is a current issue that you could actually have, and is something you're like not necessarily trauma dumping. It's like a quick little thing, and
Yeah,
it's
but I
like a
wouldn't-
little bit of vulnerability. Maybe not the best because it shows money vulnerability, so it's not the biggest.
Yeah,
thing.
because you're supposed to be the protector
Still,
and running.
I can
earner,
see how
right?
that
Like, I wouldn't
works.
go
I
that
can
way.
see that one would work. May get you thinking the wrong thing. So let me ask you guys a quick question: what's worse than girls running with scissors?
Where's this going?
Oh my gosh, my brain is going wild right now.
Girls scissoring with the runs.
Scissoring with the runs. I'm just gonna process that.
No.
Yeah, have a drink, Mickey. Go ahead. Have a drink. Yeah, go ahead.
No.
I saw that one on the podcast this week.
No.
Scissoring with nice.
All right. Nick,
Nice.
pick the article. 10 safest countries to retire. 100 years ago, people were eating things that most of us will never eat.
Nice. I just got that. Yeah.
Or
You just got it, Mickey?
Yeah.
or the most powerful cars on the
You
40,000.
just got it.
Bro,
Scissoring with the runs, bro.
Yeah,
they
I
have
got
the
it,
runs.
I got it.
Bro, Bro,
No,
come on.
Bro, my brain was going wild. I was thinking of multiple things. I was like, is he talking about like when they sick, when they're on their period, when
Oh my God.
what? Miggy? No, Miggy. Pick
Took
the
you too
article,
long.
dang it.
It took you too long, Mickey. Where's the article?
Pick an article. What you want? 10 cities to retire.
Do that one.
10 cities to retire. Okay, go click on that. So let me see if you agree with the list. I say Colombia got to be somewhere in there.
safest countries.
For under
Safest
2,000
countries.
a month.
Probably going to be, top ones are probably going to be like in Europe, I'm guessing. Croatia. Okay.
That's
Croatia
beautiful.
used to have a fucking history, but not anymore. Keep going down. Finland. Okay. Might freeze your ass off, but okay.
Right.
Czech
Czech
Republic.
Republic. I actually
Yeah,
know a
super
guy.
beautiful.
There's a coworker of Rodolfo's. You know Tyler Howard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's from there. I think his family's from there.
Yeah, it's a super beautiful city. I've been. Super nice.
What's up, Norma? Thank you for my croquetas yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, me too. And then what do we got here? Canada.
Oh,
Canada retirement, bro. Nah, I don't know if this is super cheap because I mean, 25% discount. I mean, it is cheaper than United States, but I don't know if I'm.
And if you go to the 6A, you're not gonna have a good time, eh?
Yeah, keep going down. Japan.
Bro, going to Canada is like it's like getting off-brand Nikes, dude.
No, not really. Not really.
Yes,
Not
it's
really.
like off-brand Nikes.
Not really.
That's
I've
funny
been to
as fuck.
Canada a couple of
Are
times. It's
you
not.
really? It's like, are you really willing to pay a little bit less to get that off-brand?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Even
yeah,
if you know it's not that
make no
good?
sense. Go down Japan. I don't know how much I agree with Japan.
Why?
I don't think Japan is that cheap, bro. Like Japan sells grapes that are
In the-
$50, bro.
In the rural side,
I
could
feel like
see it being cheap.
I feel like you could definitely live off $2,000 a month in Japan.
Yeah, if you have a fucking 2x2 square fucking little studio.
Bro, nah. I think you're thinking
Not
of
in
fucking
Tokyo,
New York,
Kyoto.
man. Come on.
Keep going down. What do we got in this? Slovenia.
Slovenia.
Yeah, I can see that.
That is a very interesting view.
Yeah.
I like that view.
That's nice.
Keep
Beautiful.
going down.
Portugal.
I can see
See,
that.
I want to learn to speak Portuguese, bro.
Yeah.
I want to learn this so I can. When all these Brazilians
Should
are
be
talking
easy.
shit, I
Should
can,
be
I know
easy.
what
I
they're
think
saying.
I think you're probably 30% there.
Vos no
You're
falar
probably-
português.
Yeah, you're probably 30% there. Keep going down.
All I know is chama.
Austria, I don't know, man. Austria is part of European Union. I don't know if they're that cheap. It's like saying Lithuania, you know, and Lithuania.
See, I
ain't
feel
that
like that's
cheap.
just the average of the country. So I feel like maybe there are these like high
Pockets.
populated areas where they're very expensive,
Mm.
but on average, with all the rural areas like Miguel's
Yeah.
talking about, it's like $2,000 a month.
New Zealand. Keep going down. Denmark. I guess they did pick the safest ones, right? So technically,
Right.
yeah, I agree with this list.
When we
I
going to
say,
Tokyo,
yeah.
boys? I want to go really bad.
Yeah,
I'd like to go
Arthur
to
and I we
Japan.
looked at tickets, man, the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we looked at tickets, and they're premium economy, which is going to be a long flight, and you should really
See,
look into premium economy.
This is the thing. Like, you gotta get a comfy seat, man.
Yeah.
You gotta get a nice comfy seat, not no fucking Spirit Airlines bullshit for
Yeah.
24 hours. you
No,
know?
I say for a trip like that, premium economy. I think
What's
the tickets
premium?
were
What would that get you? Like what kind?
700 more, and you get like the lazy boys. Premium economy is what business class used to be.
Okay,
Is now premium economy.
got you.
So the seats are like fully reclining, where you like lazy boy type of chair.
Okay.
It's not, you can't really lay down, but
Yeah.
it is like
And it has
good
a thing
enough.
that lifts up your
Yeah, lifts up your feet, and
Okay.
this reclines real nice. You have
Okay.
plenty of space. The table comes out, like
Got
it's
you.
a lot of space. It's easy to get out, get back in. You know, so
How much is that? How much we
it was
looking at?
$700 more than regular ticket.
And how much is that in total?
I was
1,700.
2,500.
Oh, 2,500.
2,500 because the regular ticket was about 1,700,
Okay.
and that was about 2,500.
Got you. Damn,
Because that's
expensive.
pretty much how much I paid to fly to Europe. Not when I flew to
Really?
Europe. It was like 2,200,
That's a lot
2,300.
farther,
My
motherfucker.
concern when
That's what I'm
going to
saying.
Japan is not understanding the language. Just getting lost.
Google Translator, bitch.
No, I think people, I think
I
people
saw-
are pretty good there. And then
No, man, I saw this guy the other day. They were over there in Japan, and through Google Translator, they talked to a guy, became friends with him. The
Yeah.
guy even took him to a car meet. They went to a car meet with him at night, hung
Yeah.
out, got food. Like, bro,
Yeah.
Translator will get you anywhere.
especially young people, you're a novelty there, bro. Anytime you're in a new country, you're a novelty. Everybody wants to know about you.
What's up, man? You're gonna
Yeah,
have them all fucking
yeah.
butchering the fuck out of like random English words.
Yeah, yeah. So what is this?
5 things a man only does, or should I say 5 things only Jay does when he's deeply in love with his whole heart.
Oh, Jay don't do this. Jay
Number
don't fall
1,
in love.
he loves his partner for who they are, not what they look like. Ironically
Bullshit.
enough-
That's created for women. This list is for women. I'm sorry.
Ironically enough, as the world shifts more towards superficial beauty and a hookup style culture, more and more men are choosing women for who they are rather than who looks best.
Ready? I can
Nah,
give some
this is
insight
the-
on this in the sense where I'll tell you this much. I have met girls in the past who, when I first see them, I'm like, never.
Mm-hmm.
Over time, due to their personality, you're like, maybe one time. That's about it. That's all I can say on that.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Maybe one time. But then you meet the
But you
prettiest
gotta
girl
have the
that is a
gra-
fucking asshole and be like, yep. No question about it.
I don't know. I don't know. You still gotta deal with the mouth before and after.
You do it.
Yeah,
Still,
fuck
but
that.
that one time is not a like you're like, yes, I would. I don't care what the assholeness is all about.
Someone called talking about you loved it last night, Jay. What were you doing
That
last
sounds
night?
kind of sus.
Yeah, that did sound kind of sus,
Who
right?
said
I
that?
read that and I was like, I can
JC
see why
Jay
Miggy
loved it
skipped
last
right
night.
over it.
I don't know who's JC. I don't know who JC is.
You got
Alright.
you got tapped out in jiu-jitsu or something yesterday by someone?
No.
No.
Number 2.
Damn, wait, we were supposed to do a class yesterday, no? Damn.
He
So-
protects his partner. I think this is given.
Men who are truly deeply in love are always on guard of their partner,
Yep,
making
I
sure
think
both
it's
physical
given.
and emotional harm never reaches their loved one.
I
They're
think this
always
is
ready to
given.
stand in
As a guy,
harm's
you should
way
do that.
if it means the safety of their partner, whether it's protecting them from an altercation or ensuring their emotional safety by the way of comfort and security. A man who is in love is adamant about protecting his partner. Additionally, he never thinks to hit or abuse the people he loves.
Yep, I think that's a given.
Number 3, he wants to know his partner's opinion.
Yeah.
Men who love and adore their partner always have value what they have to say, whether it's an extreme political view, a stance on religion, or what color to paint the living room. He's always willing to hear her side of things. So regarding political view and stance on religion, I feel like if you are a terrorist about that or talk too much about it, I am not gonna like that, and I wouldn't be with you.
Well, see, here's the thing. You gotta understand. Not everyone is perfect, and they have some sort of convictions why they believe these things, truly and utterly, right? Now, this might not be perfectly perfect, right? But if it causes them happiness and they're they're content with what they have, okay, fine. But if you can tell that they're saying these things, but they don't really believe in these things, that's when I come in. I was like, all right, you're talking hella shit.
Ready?
Let's talk about this.
Let's talk about this a little more. Let's go even more deep. So we're talking about someone you're deeply in love with, right? Apparently, right? In this article. And this is someone you're going to probably want to have.
After that armbar, oof, I don't know who this is. I really don't know who this is. I haven't had an armbar in a while now.
So if we're talking about you and your partner, you're probably planning on having children with this person eventually, right?
Yeah.
So my only thing there is, yeah, you can have your religious views or whatever it may be, but I would not allow you to impose that on my child until they are conscious enough to understand it.
Yeah, but at the same
So-
time, you don't want to fucking knock them down for something that they feel content.
I
gives
get.
them
And this
happiness.
This
you
is
know what
my
I mean?
thing. Ready? I understand if you are 100% Christian or you're whatever it may be, right? Very religious and you want to attend church every Sunday. That's cool for you. And you're like, oh, but I want to make my kids do that too.
Nah,
when they're
we
young.
ain't doing that.
You go find someone that's fine with that because
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, because I mean, you want to go to church and you want to pray and light your candles for
Do
us.
it.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I would command you to do that.
No,
Because
I
somebody has
command
to.
you to do that.
Somebody has. Somebody has to do the spiritual shit, right?
No.
For the family.
No, I don't
and it
believe
ain't
that.
me.
I don't
It
believe
ain't
that.
me. So
Nobody
someone else has to.
Nobody
do it.
has to do that. Now, if you want to do that,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And if it makes you happy and content,
right?
go
and
ahead
you're not
and do
trying
it.
to impose it on
Yeah.
me, right? Not trying to shove it down my throat
Yeah.
or my child's throat. We're Gucci.
Yeah. Go next. Go next. Go next.
In the words of Eladio, mom prays for me.
Is that why he's limping, JC?
Ella me cuida de lo malo.
No. Who's JC?
I don't know.
Sounds
We're
like
gonna go.
Jorge Costa.
Oh, it's
Oh.
Jorge Costa. It's gotta be Jorge Costa. Has to.
Coste.
He goes out of his way for them.
Yeah, I see that.
A man who's in love will almost always drop whatever he's doing if his partner needs help. She's easily his top priority, and if there's any way he can fix her problems, he's going to do it, unless he's playing video
All right,
games.
keep going down. Yep, unless he's playing video games. That's
Yes,
for sure.
sir.
Number
Ranked
5.
is worth more.
He lets that band is not it. He lets them live their own life. A theme that commonly happens in long-term relationships is codependency. Some men struggle when their partners don't spend every single second with them. It's as if he can't maintain independence in his relationship and is defined by it.
Wait a minute. This last one, like, it just kind of gets me, right?
Oh,
It
yeah.
triggers me. Think about what we read before this. He drops everything. He protects them. He stops whatever he's doing to help them. He loves them unconditionally for who they are, blah, blah, blah. And then they go and say, he lets them live their life. So what does it look like? They're living their life, being selfish as fuck, and you dropping everything to appease them? I think this last point is put in there for this article to fucking not get canceled.
I think you're taking this last one maybe a little too serious. Just as serious as the last one, which it shouldn't be. Ready? Because I think what this could get towards, and I could agree with, is just how I want to play my video games. She wants to go do her nails.
Yeah,
or whatever it may be, right? Like those little things.
Is that what this means?
I
though?
think so. And if it is, that's what if it means something else, I agree with you. Too much, right? But if it's like I'm saying, I agree.
I don't agree with this. Like maintains independence in his relationship and define. So when you're in a relationship, I don't think there can be an independence on both parties. I depend on you and you depend on me. That's what makes us fucking strong. So because if you don't depend on me and I don't depend on you, why the fuck are we doing this? Because there are times that you're going to be stronger in some subject, and there are times that I'm going to be stronger in some subject. This is why we're together, to fill each other's gaps, right? And when somebody comes in, I'm a fucking independent boss babe, well then continue being an independent boss babe. Because bottom line is this, I'm an independent boss babe and I make my own money. Well, here's the question. When we do go out for the first time, who's paying? You? No, it's me, right? So I don't give a fuck about your money, number one. I'm a boss babe, like or strong independent woman. Cause like if we're talking about physical strength, I'm definitely stronger than you. So at the end of the day, this is not gonna matter. And then if you're talking about emotional strength, let me see you come up through fucking food rations and see how strong you how emotionally strong you're gonna be then. You know what I mean? Well, that doesn't matter anymore. And then independent of who? Of men? You know what I mean? Like that just makes no fucking sense every time I read these words. Like it makes no sense. Like I think inner dependence is very, very fucking important in a relationship. You can't be just completely independent, do whatever the fuck you want, and then come back and expect everyone to say, you know what, you're right.
There's
you're
a
right.
balance.
This is how it's, yeah, there's got to be a fucking balance. 100%.
So what do you think about this part right here? If a man truly loves his partner, he will be more than okay with her spending time with other people, whether it be girlfriends, co-workers, or family. He doesn't get jealous, and he doesn't try to hold her back from seeing the people she cares about. In fact, he encourages it.
Well, unless your girlfriends are hoes, like certified hoes, then sorry.
No, I feel like there's sometimes where you kind of tell there's a lack of like friendship, not friendship, but like a lack of connection between your partner's friends. So it's kind of like, yeah, why don't you hang out with this person a little more or something like that? Yeah, sometimes there can be that.
Because I know a girl, super nice, super cool. Her friend,
you talked about her.
Another fucking another fucking story. You know what I mean? Like, would I want my girl to hang out with that kind of person a little bit longer than necessary? Like, I understand they're friends, but no, like she's no good for nothing.
Jay said, "No, I don't want you hanging out after hours."
You know what I do though? Sometimes, so I'll tell you this much. Ready? If I ever have a situation where I see someone that is around Emily start doing like hoish activities,
Like hoe shit, yeah.
I say it straight up to Emily when like if we ever talk about that person or whatever, I'm like, yo, I can't believe she's doing this or that or that. I like make it very well known that the way that this person is behaving, I do not agree with.
Yeah, it's fucking unacceptable.
Right.
Like, you don't act this way.
Right.
Because I find that the girls are very prone to outside opinions for being as communitarian as they are. Imagine 3-4 hoe friends like telling her do this, do that. What is she gonna do? Was she gonna be the only one that doesn't do it? Not really. I mean, there's a good chance that she'll. Anyway, skip next article. I think this was like designed for everyone to read and feel good about it. But all right, do that. Let's see what are we talking about. Food. What food have we haven't had for the past 100 years? What are we saying here?
100 years ago, people were eating things that most of us will never taste. So what happened?
All right.
It was shit food, and it was never meant to be eaten in the first place. That's what happened.
Apples. Well, what's with apples?
Commercial operators were pretty rare, and when even in those orchards, everything was done by hand. I don't know what it said.
So as orchards, everything was done by hand. People didn't need as
But I
many
still eat
apples, I
apples.
guess.
I still eat apples. The fuck you mean?
Go back up.
This
Go
is a
back.
weird article.
Go down a little bit more. Little bit more. It says here, fact today, the 15 most popular apple varieties account for 90% of all apple sales in the United States. The most commonly sold apple, red delicious. Okay, so I guess it's saying there were more varieties of apple that we were eating, and now we're kind of like phased them out, and
I
we're
don't
just
know.
eating.
Jay
only...
just got something the other day that looked like little fucking berries.
Yeah.
They're called lady apples.
Lady fingers. They were called.
Lady apples.
Oh,
some shit
this
like
is
that.
actually
Really
good.
small.
This is actually a good thing. So when I was in Latvia, they had apple trees that were growing, right? And I went to. They had white apples and they had red apples. I went and took these apples. When I bit into the apple, bro, there was no juice. It had the apple flavor. You had the distinct sweetness and distinct apple flavor, but biting the apple meat tasted like fucking sponge on both. Like there was no juice in it. But those were the apples that were growing there, you know. And I remember as a kid, we used to eat them. And those little tiny apples that I bought, as a little kid, I remember like taking these apples that were not fully ripe yet and eating them, and that was the flavor, right? So I can see what the article is talking about. What is this?
If you have testes, should you ejaculate more often to stay healthier? Yes, you certainly should.
And what is
That's
the
the name of the
recommend?
article.
What is the recommended
Okay.
by doctor
Yeah.
per
If
day?
Go ahead, Mickey. Go ahead.
If you have 2 functioning testes, by the time you finish reading this sentence, you'll produce around 50,000 sperm cells. God damn!
That's a lot of.
That's
fucking
around
sperm.
300 million per day. And they say I'm not putting in work. So if you don't ejaculate frequently, where do they all go? And it's healthier to regularly release them into the world? In the below video from the Institute of Human Anatomy, lead dissector Jonathan Binion discusses sperm production, storage, as well as a common question he gets from students. What happens to sperm cells if they're not released? He also explores whether frequent releases holds any health benefits. And
Talking about this, bro.
and discuss if there's any connection betwing consistent
sure you wanna
ejaculation
share
this? Yeah, I
and
wanna
risk of
share this.
prostate cancer. Go for it.
Just double checking, Jay.
Yeah. So we had an anatomy class.
Okay.
In anatomy class, you know, the teacher was talking about like gonads, which is your balls, and then producing sperm. And it's like, yeah, sperm is usually white in color. And some kid out there, you know, he had to be fucking, well, sometimes it comes out a little bit yellow. And then the teacher turns on, it's like, yeah, because it's old. That's why it comes out. Bro, he blasted that kid. He blasted that kid, bro.
So I heard that from what some girls say that there can be a difference in taste because of what you guys eat.
Yeah, 100%. That's why there's that whole fucking eat a pineapple thing, you know. But
Well, go ahead, Mickey. Keep going.
You have to watch a video for this one.
Okay.
yeah, apparently he has a lot of fucking vitamins and minerals in it, so they're actually healthy for wherever. And some women will actually put that on their skin, on their face skin, you know. So
Ladies,
it
hit me
rejuvenates the collagen and all that stuff.
up. $100 an ounce.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, Mickey.
Fresh.
Damn, that shit expensive.
All right, go to the
Fresh.
next article. 40,000 the most powerful cars under 40K 2023. Let's see what do we have on the list here.
I can see
I don't
the
think it's gonna
GR.
be a good list with the fucking.
I can see the
with
GR
inflation.
Corolla there.
Yeah, but do you think they're gonna sell a GR Corolla for you for $40,000, bro? They're gonna
Nope.
slap a fucking
All right,
10,000 plus sticker on it.
GR
If
Corolla.
they did sell them for 36, like that would be an option of mine for next car, but they don't.
They don't, man.
Your
no.
sticker price on that when you go to the dealership is gonna be like 43,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna charge you. Basically,
Ford
you're paying
Bronco.
50.
Ford Bronco. I mean,
But that's
depends.
not. I feel
Nah, this is bullshit, bro. This
Mm-mm.
bullshit. Yeah, that
This is the-
Challenger. I see this.
And apparently, this is the last year they're gonna be made.
Yeah, I see this. I see this. Yeah.
But
I
if you're
agree
buying a
with that
Challenger
one.
and you buy the V6,
Mustang
or you
for
buy
Mustang,
a Mustang and
yeah.
you buy the V6,
Yeah.
why'd you do it?
Doesn't that Mustang almost look like a Camaro?
It does a little bit. They're kind of similar, yeah. Front, yeah. There's Camaro right next to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. LT1, okay.
Another
V6, yep. I can see it. Nissan Maxima.
Ew.
You're not getting a $40,000 Nissan Maxima unless it's fucking bare bone and doesn't have seats. Like, I'm sorry.
I mean, you can see
You're
the price
not.
there. Sticker price
Yeah.
is $39,235. So you're not getting it under 40.
Toyota Camry. Interestingly, this is the V6 that's also in the Lexus GS
Right.
and Avalon
The
and
Camrys have always been just
RC,
really reliable
LS.
cars. You know, just
yeah.
Yeah, Toyota. It's Toyota, man. It's fucking Toyota.
it works.
Keep going. Keep going.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. So yeah, that's the list. What do you guys think? Which one? I would
The
out of that
Corolla-
list, doing the Corolla GR.
Is the best option.
It would be
there.
the fun car, but like I don't
Right.
know if I would have use for it. You know what I mean?
The
Like,
GR Corolla is definitely the fun car.
It's-
It's also functional because the wagon.
It's a
little-
young
It's
man's
a little
car.
hatchback wagon, so it's got a lot of space
It's
in
a
it.
young man's car with an old man's price. That's what it is. Think about it. What young man can afford a $40,000+ fucking car?
I want to drive one, man. I really want to drive one and see how they drive.
Well, I mean,
Are
it's,
these manual?
Yes.
it's gonna fly, bro. It's gonna
I'd
fly.
love to learn manual and get something like this eventually.
Yeah,
but
they're nice. They're very nice.
I've never been a big fan of hatchbacks, but slowly I've been growing into them.
I
Well,
like
the,
hatchbacks.
yeah, hatchback's cool, but that hatchback doesn't have much hatchback space in the back.
I don't really give a fuck.
Bro,
about
they
the
look
space.
like they don't.
But they
It's
do.
like- It's like, bro, my car's
Nah,
space in my
your
car.
car is longer than that, bro. That's a little tiny.
Yeah,
thing.
that is a little smaller, I think, than my car, but they're around the same size, man. My
Your
car's
car is
pretty
longer,
small.
bro.
My car's pretty small, man.
No, man, it's longer than that. Look at the back seat. Back seat is touching the fucking back window.
It does look pretty small, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
But so update on my car. I got the radiator cap today's.
Yeah.
Waiting on the tune, the base map from the guy. He's supposed to have sent it to me yesterday, and I'm still waiting on that. But it is what it is. Just waiting on that so I can go basically get an alignment, and that's it.
Nice.
That's it.
Very
That's
nice.
it. It's almost done, little by little.
Subtle signs. 5 subtle signs you're angrier than you think, according to a psychologist. All right, let's see this.
Chronic anxiety. Many people end up chronically anxious because they're so afraid of their anger that they'll take on any amount of stress to avoid it. On the face of it, chronically anxious people look the exact opposite of angry. If anything, they come across as meek, unassuming, or even pushovers. But here's the thing. Just because you don't look and act angry doesn't mean you're not feeling angry. Anger is a natural human emotion we all feel as a result of injustice or boundary violations. For example, if a bully steals your lunch at school, it's natural to feel angry about it. If you watch a news report of some innocent person being abused or taken advantage of, you're going to feel angry about it. If your
Sucker pun in
spouse
the face.
sarcastically criticizes your outfit, you're probably going to feel angry about it. And more than just a sign that some injustice has been committed, anger is also fuel for rectifying it. Where would the civil rights movement be if no one got angry about slavery and racism? Where would democracy be if no one got angry at tyranny and fascism? But a lot of people fear getting angry or making others angry so much that they take on huge amounts of stress and anxiety as a result of avoiding the anger. For example, take a little boy who grew up with an alcoholic and abusive parent. He learned quickly as a kid that expressing his anger and frustration only got him hurt and abused. So now, even though he isn't physically in danger anymore, he's in the habitat of ignoring his anger. As a result, he never stands up for himself. He takes on way too much work in his job, which keeps him stressed and anxious, all because he's afraid to express his anger about giving too much work. He remains in verbally abusive relationship because he's afraid of his spouse's anger and the conflict that would ensue if he stood up for himself, so he's always worried about upsetting his spouse. And he even has a hard time disciplining his children when he needs to because he's afraid of his anger and theirs. So he's constantly stressed and anxious about the way his kids are growing up.
Okay, keep going down.
See, this is a whole like psychological
Yeah.
exam, bro.
That is.
Rumination. I don't even know what does that even mean.
Just because you're not angry with other people doesn't mean you're not angry, self-directed. Anger is a real thing too, with plenty of destructive consequences if left unchecked. A lot of people assume they're not angry because they never get angry with other people. They're nice, friendly, tolerant, empathetic, and even quite patient when it comes to other people. And because they rarely get angry at others, they seldom look visibly angry. They don't shout or scream. They don't act out or get aggressive. They don't lose their cool when things go wrong. But looks can be deceiving. Some of the angriest people I've ever met look like absolute sweethearts to everyone else, even to the people who know them well, like spouses or parents. How is this possible? For many people, their anger is self-directed and manifests as an extreme type of negative self-talk called rumination. Rumination is the mental habit of intensely negative and unproductive self-talk about mistakes or errors.
Okay.
That's what I was talking
You
about the
wanna
other
beat
day.
yourself up?
It's what I was talking about, like mental masturbation. Remember that shit I was mentioning the other day? When you like out an impose on some kind of problem and you're like still racking your brain, like nothing can be done about it, or like you just can't find the solution, or something that already happened. Mental masturbation. And I heard that phrase the other day, and I've been catching myself.
Well,
I tell
mental
myself
masturbation usually also talk about people that'll sit there and start like philosophically thinking about shit and like, bruh, no need for you to go that deep. You know what I mean?
could be many things. Right?
Yeah. Keep going now.
For example, this is an example of rumination, I guess. An offhand comment by a friend at dinner triggers a memory of a mistake you made in the past, and you spend the rest of your evening dwelling on that mistake and all the negative consequences in your life that came from it. That would suck.
Yeah, like if the subject lasts way too long, they're like at this point you're mentally
Not even
masturbating.
if
Like
it
let's
lasts
just drop
long,
it.
I feel
you
like
know?
if it does bring up an idea of a bad time that you've had, that could fuck up your night because then you're constantly thinking about that and then everything that really actually did occur.
Yeah, sometimes I'll get
because of that.
little things like that that'll come up and like, man, I acted like a fool, but that was in the past, right? Like, what am I gonna do about it? It's done. Get over it. Don't do it again, right? Go down.
Second one. Your manager at work gives you some specific negative feedback about a recent piece of work, and you spent hours distracted by thoughts and of how you could have done better and why you're always such a screw up.
Keep going down. Passive aggressive communication. Yeah, a lot of emails I get like that. Passive aggressive communication. I can totally tell those people are fucking angry. Like I think this is the giveaway telltale sign when somebody passive aggressively talking to you, especially the right emails. I have a couple of coworkers.
I had this thought the other day. It reminds me of it not necessarily has to do with this, but so the other day, me and Emily got into a little argument in a sense, right? And I noticed that I felt like we were almost communicating at a certain point because we were so angry, right? And we weren't. She was at her house, I was here, and it almost became more effective to communicate by text. Just take the time and write it out than like actually speaking over the phone.
Yeah, because
emotion,
dumb shit.
yeah, emotion would get involved, and because of the way someone said something, even though they're just trying to speak their feelings, the way they said it annoys them, and then it changes what you're gonna have in response if you didn't have that attitude, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the conversation resolves so much faster over text than I know it would have with us talking.
There's so many times been when I want to just fire back that text or that email or
And
just
you think twice about
and
it.
then I was like, well, let me just. And I stopped myself. I was like, let me.
There's so
let
many
me
times you
give-
write something
give-
out and you're like, no,
Give myself a 30
You know
minutes.
what?
30 minutes. If I still feel like that about it, I'm gonna send it out. 30 minutes later, like fucking clockwork. You're like,
change.
Maybe
Yeah.
what
It
we
is
need
what it
to
is.
do is find ourselves with more deaf girls, you know?
deaf girls.
Because you'd have to communicate through text and they don't get angry. You know?
listen. If I know one thing about girls, they will find a way to piss you off without talking.
Oh, that's easy.
I could attest that I did help a lady one time. Actually, no. Well, ladies and guys, whatever. I've held a couple, actually, of deaf people. And they come with text. And at first, you're talking to them, like, how can I help you? And they just pop up the fucking phone. It's like, okay, what's going on? I need to communicate through text. I can't hear you. And they just go off of that. But they're super nice people. They're not, like,
Well,
super
can you
angry or
imagine?
anything.
Those people have to have the fucking patience of a fucking saint, bro. Because you know what I mean. Like
and the people dealing with them. Of
trying to
course,
get
also
something
have to
out
have
and you
that too.
can, you have to write it out. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Keep going down. There's something to learn from them, that's for sure. Venting.
Blind or deaf? Would you have to if you had to be one?
Blind or deaf? Oof, deaf.
Yeah, I think so.
I'd like to see.
Can you imagine like every person you came up, you had to like put your hand on their face, and there might be a greasy motherfucker. Now you done got grease to fry a whole fucking chicken wing on your hand. Damn.
I mean, but they can just say it. You can hear them.
So venting, I think a lot of times this is being mistakenly, like a lot of times I'll say stuff and a lot of people think I'm venting, but in reality I'm like, well, it is what it is. Like I'm not venting, I'm just telling you what the situation is. Like I'm not necessarily venting. I don't want to change it. I understand that's how it's gonna be.
That's exactly what I mean. See, I feel like I think of venting a little bit differently than you do. So I feel like venting is just anytime have something like you're angry about something or there's some kind of problem, you just want to talk about it.
Yeah, that's venting. I agree with that.
You just want
That's
to get
venting.
it out.
Yeah.
No one has to give you any kind of resolution. You just want to say it.
Yeah,
And
like for example, the best thing I can think of is because we talk about relationships a lot, right? Like best thing I can say is like, well, girls like guys that make money, and like guys will go out there, hey, these gold diggers, blah, blah, they're venting, and I'm like, yeah, girls like guys that like money, and they'll put different labels on it. Somebody will say he's go getter, he has side hustle, he's a leader. Somebody will say they're what's the word, that they're proactive about something. You know what I mean? And to me, that's not venting. That's how they are. Like I can't change that.
Venting. I think venting is if I have a problem at work and some shit went down and I just want to get home and talk to someone about it.
Yeah.
Or something happened in my relationship and I just want to go to Rodolfo and talk about it.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Now your boys will. Yeah, I think you should vent. If anything, you should vent to your boys because they'll understand you better. Because they probably most likely either dealt with the situation.
I can't understand where this is coming from. So 5 signs, because it's talking about signs that you're angry, right? So if you're venting if you're venting constantly, 2 out of 3 times that you're hanging out with your boys,
yeah, there's something going on. They're like, let's sit down and have a conversation. What's going on? Like, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. And at that point, I think you as a guy, you have to be fucking blunt to the point and say, hey, listen, I think you're fucking up, or I think this person is fucking up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hyper criticism.
So many people master anger by expressing it in the form of coolly intellectual criticism of others. If you tend to be overly critical or judgmental of other people, that might be a sign that you've got some unacknowledged anger to explore.
But see, here's the thing, Miggy. Now, if you see somebody doing something wrong, and you say, like, that's wrong, are you really being hypercritical? I feel like this could be used in ways, to shame someone for bringing something up. Like, let's say your boy is drinking, right? And they clearly have a drinking problem. I can be critical of him drinking. Is that hypercritical? By saying, hey, listen, you're fucking up. Stop doing this. Or saying, hey, like, this is not an acceptable behavior.
I don't think it's hypercritical in that scenario. I think you're just trying to help the person out.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So I think that hypercriticism can be used misdiagnosed a lot of times.
Like hypercriticism, it can go, like you say, it can be not only diagnosed in many different forms, but it can be used to express.
But then again, there's that part where like, okay, well, I'm not in their shoes. Where is the reason why they're like that, right?
There's the people that have the what's it called? Like when they don't feel like they deserve to be where they're at.
Self-doubt? Or...
self-doubt or what's it called? Fuck.
What do you mean? Give it an example.
Yeah, I get what he's saying. Like, you don't deserve your place.
Yeah. They have a term for that.
I don't know what it's called.
I forgot what it's called, though.
Oh, the word I was looking for, ambitious. Ambitious. That's just another way of saying, hey, guy earns money. I get it. Like, you have to be really, really like...
Imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome?
Gotcha.
Yeah. Some people have imposter syndrome. It could also be misdiagnosed with hypercriticism.
And I think a lot of times that gets me.
See that.
I go with the imposter syndrome a lot of times because I know things, but at the same time, like, maybe I don't know all of it. You know what I mean? So a lot of times I feel like shit by saying something. You know, I can see that. But that hypercriticism, what I was saying, that word can be used as a fucking tool to shame someone. You know, an example was like if your boy is drinking and you know like this is not good for them and you're being critical, like hypercritical about it, is it really hypercriticism? Is it because you have anger towards them, or is it because coming from a place where like, listen, you're fucking up. Like, I'm not angry with you, but you're fucking up. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know.
You guys want to hear a funny bathroom thought? So Mickey, you know, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. But Jade, when you were growing up in the mountains, did you
of Caucasus?
The mountains of Caucasus. Did you ever walk into the bathroom as a little kid? Did they have stalls? Not stalls, but like urinal stalls?
Yeah, right? It depended what part of the fucking world were you in. Some of them didn't have this. They had the stalls, but they had the hole in the ground,
right?
Yeah.
But it had like little dividers things, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever walk in the bathroom and see that one weird fucking kid with his pants around his ankles taking a piss?
Yes.
That's fucking hilarious. So it happens here and it happens over there.
It does, bro. It's like
What the fuck is that?
they never like grew up. Like I mean, if you do it up to like 5 or 6, after 5 or 6, I think you kind of
If
learn.
you're in school already and you're still fucking putting your pants around your ankles to take a piss, come on.
But can you imagine how comfortable these motherfuckers got to be? They just like boom, drop it down. They don't
bare
even fucking
ass in front of everybody?
bare ass right in front of everybody.
I'm not
I
gonna
give
say
a
names.
not a single fucking care in the
Say
world.
him.
I'm not gonna say names, but I have a boss that whenever he comes into the restroom, he just drops his shorts.
Okay, yes, your current
unbuckles
boss.
his
Never
shit
mind.
and he just drops his shorts. He was once caught by Vic or somebody. I don't remember who it was. They walked into the restroom and this man was just butt ass naked, just sitting there.
At my age now, if it's someone I know, even if it's a coworker now, I'd be like, damn, bro,
Yeah,
you
pause.
out here. I would
Pause.
make a joke out of it.
Pause.
Damn, bro, you out here.
Yeah.
What else could you do?
Yeah, but I don't know,
mean-
man. If you but like
Bare ass,
just
bro.
think about them. They don't give a fuck.
And you know what my question is? Is they put their pants around their ankles, right? And if you're doing this as an adult, it's even crazier. You gotta lean forward, right? You're putting your fucking face like in that urinal, right? Unless you take a
Oh, I'm sure they've developed a fucking
or
way of
unless
not
they
doing
take
that.
a fucking couple steps back and just flash everyone full frontal.
This is what
too,
I'm thinking.
You know what I mean?
If shit pops off in a bathroom,
Oh,
if shit pops
yeah.
off in a bathroom,
Bro, I've seen
bro.
bathroom fights, especially in high school, in middle school. There was definitely bathroom fights.
bro,
So
you got shit around your ankles. You ain't moving. You're part of the fight with your ass and dick flinging everywhere. At that point, I just turned around and pissed on him.
right.
Yeah. Oh, there was this thing. So apparently, this kid, I don't remember what state it was in. I don't remember. So this kid was being dragged out by security for stealing. Next thing you know, he like gets his hand, shoves it in his pants. Apparently, he shit in his hand, pulls it out, and rubs it on his own face, and then let him go, and he just walks away with.
It's a defense mechanism. Man. You
Bro,
know how to use it.
this kid like he didn't even fucking flinch. He was like, all right, motherfuckers,
That was
Why on his
premeditated.
own face? Aren't they holding him?
they were holding him, bro. He just,
Why did he put it on one of them?
I don't fucking know. I don't know. And then I saw another fight where this big dude was fighting somebody else. His pants were sagging down. Another reason why you should have a fucking belt around your waist. And he shit himself. And the guys were like, bro, he shit himself. Don't fight him. He's like, yeah, that's right. Walk away. I'm like, bitch, you shit yourself.
No one's to fight you, shitty.
Yeah. Mr. Shitty.
Yo, there's this viral clip going around right now of these. It's like somewhere in Asia, right? It's like this school, and little kids are playing basketball. And
Oh,
one of them-
yeah, the
and-
little
and
boy
one of
runs
them-
out and just
and
drops
them
one
runs
quick.
right under the hoop,
And drops it. And he
and
was
the
like,
dude just falls right.
and
on his
that
shorts.
kid, bro, been holding. You know he'd been holding because that thing was big.
Bro,
That covered the entire
ready?
ball.
And then fucking ball falls on it, and the teacher's just there like, no way. The ball rolls, and another kid goes and grabs it, puts his hand, and you just see him go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Shit.
I saw that, yeah.
That video is fucking hilarious.
Go click on that one with the little blinky lights on there. I thought that was interesting, yeah. So apparently scientists, bizarre fast radio bursts exhibit a unique signal never seen before, right? So read a little bit more about this because I thought this was pretty interesting.
A mystery signal from the depths of the cosmos has just been caught doing something we've never seen before. In the midst of the emissions of a repeating fast radio burst, scientists have detected a drop in the center frequency of the signals over time. A drop that sounds, they say, like a cosmic slide whistle, then when slowed down and played on a xylophone. It's unclear exactly what this unique drop in frequency means, yet aside from the fact that fast radio bursts continue to be weird and to defy easy explanation. This work is exciting because it provides both confirmation of known FRB properties and the discovery of some new ones, says radio astronomer Sophia Sheikh of the SETI Institute. We're narrowing down the sources of FRBs, for example, to extreme objects such as magnetars, but not existing model can explain all the properties that have been observed so far. Fast radio bursts, or FRBs, are very strange but very nifty. As the name suggests, they're bursts of radio emissions that they're very fast. Each burst lasts just a few microseconds to seconds. They're really powerful, discharging in that short space of time as much energy as 500 million suns. And they're a bit tricky to catch. Most FRBs have only been caught flaring once, a strange, unpredictable spike in radio survey data. The unpredictability and failure to repeat has made them difficult to study. Although not impossible, great strides have been made in tracing and analyzing the one-off signals. But a handful of FRB sources do something a bit different. They flare again and again, a strange staccato spatter of signals that sometimes follows a pattern and sometimes doesn't. These repeat sources are an opportunity to trace the source of an FRB with high precision, but also to plan for and study in detail signals from a single source. This is what Sheikh and her colleagues have done, honing in on a source known as FRB 202209128, coming from another galaxy around 1 billion light years away.
What the fuck?
Right? That's crazy, huh?
They analyzed 541 hours of observation data from the Allen Telescope Array and extracted total.
This fucking
35
matrix
bursts
algorithm getting real smart, bro.
with an
They're like, these
average
motherfuckers too
duration
smart. Let's send some fucking fake signals now so they think there's some more out there.
of 1.2 milliseconds. They then stretched out these signals and studied how the emissions from the source changes over time. There are some characteristics of the FRB 202209128 burst shared in common with other FRBs, such as a downward frequency drift, a link between the signal bandwidth and center frequency, and changes in burst duration over time. The researchers looked for patterns in the propagation of the bursts and found none. FRB 202209128 appears to be one of the repeaters that does so at random, but the signal it spits out are pretty interesting.
That's cool, right? I thought that's pretty fucking cool. All right, so go to the next article and tell me what you think about this, whether you agree with this or no. Yeah, click on that. So
I'm about
apparently
to,
this is a
Mickey, so I don't know if you've seen this, but I'm about to send that video of that little kid.
yeah. So apparently this is a woman that writes this article. I'll let the small stuff slide, and he divorced me. Okay. So read the first one.
The time someone ran a red light and crashed it into my car 1 block from his office, but he couldn't be bothered to walk out to see if I was okay.
Keep reading.
2. The time he bought every single one of my Christmas presents at Walgreens on the drive over to my parents' house for an annual holiday gift opening extravaganza and feast. FYI, I got a whiteboard and a crappy neck massager. 3. That one time I turned 40 and he bought me nothing. Not even a card. He didn't have the kids make cards or buy gifts from them either. 4. That time he told me he booked our anniversary getaway at a hotel in one of my favorite beach towns, only to find out he picked a beach town I actually hate with every ounce of my being. 5. And I think these just sound like 10 things my husband did that I don't like.
Keep reading.
5. And how we didn't even sleep together. 4. The time he told me he booked an anniversary.
Yeah, you read that.
You read that one, yeah.
And how we didn't even sleep together during the anniversary getaway. 6. How he always said no every time I asked him to go on a lunch date, even though we were working at home together most days. 7. That time he told me that his work would always come first before me and before our children. 8. That time I was talking to him in the car and he just picked up his cell phone and made a call. 9. All those times he texted while driving with me and the kids in the car, even though I begged him repeatedly not to. And 10. Those dating apps I found on iTunes that he claimed downloaded with other apps unbeknownst to him.
So what do you guys think about this? What did you say earlier?
So,
Like,
No, you said something earlier.
what?
Just sounds some 10 things that she doesn't like him
10
doing.
things that my girlfriend doesn't like.
I mean, no, these are some pretty big things in the sense where you can tell he don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but hear me out. Remember we talked about the divorce statistics and how, when you average all out, this 50% divorce and 80% of that is initiated by women.
Okay.
Which leads us to believe that men in general don't really like to divorce or break up, right? So my question is, this motherfucker clearly doesn't give a fuck about you. What could have happened? He just could be that kind of a person. Number one, right? Let's just get the obvious out of the way. He just could be a very narcissistic.
The likelihood is
could be
going to be that
could
he's
be
just
that
an
person. Or the second part is, what has happened until this point to get him to that point where he's like, I don't give a fuck anymore.
That too. No, that too. For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And I'm not trying to victim blame or anything
No, I'm not
like
trying to
that.
blame her. It could have been something he did. It could have been anything. But what happened?
What happened? Because
Could be anything.
I could see for myself, let's say, if I'm with the girl and then suddenly she starts being rude and not taking care of herself, like in not being fit,
Yeah,
friendly,
you return the
feminine.
energy. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, fit, feminine. Like that I've encountered her, and she started changing that. That would start putting me off, right? Like you're not the person that I want to be with, right? Then I could see myself doing these things, like not giving a fuck and forgetting things, because it's like, bruh, like you're not the person I want to be with, right? Like I can see that.
Like I said, you're gonna match the energy. You're gonna if something starts to change and the other person starts to change as well, you can't be too pissed about it.
And I had a conversation with my friend the other day, and him and his wife sat at the table and they were talking, and she's like, well, I don't want you to drink as much anymore. He's like, well, listen, I come back from work, I work really hard. Once in a while, I'll buy one beer and I'll drink it, you know? And he goes, I remember the time when we were first going out. I remember you, cigarette in one hand and a beer in another one. We were partying, we're going out. I thought this is going to be like the rest of my life. This is the girl I married. But you've changed. You've chose not to drink, not to smoke, which is fine. That's your choice to do that. But you can't come in and say, to me, don't do it, because that's what I enjoy doing. Whether it's good for me or bad for me, this is what I enjoy doing. This is the person that you encountered in the beginning. Now you want me to change and follow your lead because you decided to do this? You know what I mean? Which he made a whole lot of sense. He goes, I expected you to be like that for the rest of your life. This is who I fucking married. What happened to you? So in reality, have you changed or I'm doing something wrong?
Right. I mean, maybe both.
Maybe both. Yeah, maybe both. And I think a lot of times girls will get in a relationship and they try to change the guy. And when they do change the guy, the final product, they're like, ooh, I don't like this final product anymore. Because you got to think about it. Like if you change for a girl, that's like the number one mistake you can do, because she met you that way. She like you the way you are.
Ask for rain, you can't deal with the mud.
Yeah, you can't fucking change.
No. So I think I think you can change, but it's like I said. If you ask for rain, you got to deal with the mud. If you ask for this guy to stop fucking drinking, and then every time when he comes home from work and he wanted to have that drink and now he's not, and he's like a little extra fucking pissed, you better fucking be ready.
Yeah.
And no, you can't fucking beat your wives because she doesn't want you to drink. Don't do that. That's what I'm saying.
No. Yeah, no. Like, see, here's the thing. Anyone that fucking raises his hand on a woman is a fucking idiot. Like, just a certified idiot, right? Like, you're not proving nothing with this.
Right.
Trust me, you're not proving nothing to her and to the rest of the fucking society. If anything, you look like a fucking scumbag. Bottom line, right? If it's to the point where you have to raise a hand on a girl, you might need to fucking reconsider your priorities. Get the fuck out of the relationship. Obviously, this is not working out for you. Obviously, you got fucking issues. Fix them. You know, this is all you. Like, I don't understand a time that the girl had to piss me off to the point where I would say, you know what, I'm going to raise a hand on a girl. That would never fucking happen. Literally, people say, don't say never. That would never fucking happen.
You guys want to end this on a shitty note with that TikTok?
No, we don't have to. Yeah. On a shitty note on the TikTok. Let's do it. Shitty notes are good.
You see what I mean? I gotta click on the link, bro. That's just the thumbnail. No, not open in browser. It's gonna open the thumbnail in browser. Go back and click on the link itself.
Ah, shit. I'm not gonna ask us to fucking log in. You gotta match that. Yeah, that you're a fucking human. Now you can get out.
So this little kid just.
And this is very inconspicuous, bro. Like I had to take a double take on this because I didn't realize what happened. Watch that little kid. Watch that little kid. Boom, Dookie drops,
blah,
out of the pants,
and boom, basketball hits it.
Like, what is going on?
Ah, shit! I love this fucking edit. And then, right, boom, Dookie drops, and
oh shit!
Oh shit! And on that note, guys, I think it's been an hour and a half. You're good.
You all know what's the deal.
Yeah, Vitality, guys. Make sure to check out Vitality.
All that stuff.
New location on 4th Street. They also have that Park Street location. Besides that, like, comment, subscribe, share us on